Hello, everybody. How's it going? Happy Friday afternoon. Oh, may have been a short week, but man, was it a long week. But work is over. The weekend is just beginning. I'm chilling here with a can of LaCroix, not sponsored. Sponsor me. And yeah, I figure I'm going to do something completely different today that I have not done on stream before. And that's something more creative than just playing video games. So I'm a little out of my element here. Yeah. So give it just a few seconds here and we'll go ahead and bring up After Effects and I'll continue colorizing this clip that I've been working on since August, September, something like. Excuse me. Okay. Make sure my chat is in here. Good, good. I've tested Facebook, I've tested YouTube, and I have tested Twitch. Obviously, if you're watching on Twitch, you're going to get the best experience. Check the link down in the either the comments on Facebook or in the video description if you're on YouTube. All right, well, I love this wallpaper. I don't know why I love this wallpaper so much, but I really like the cyberpunk aesthetic, and having an animated wallpaper is just awesome. So, okay, you are able to see my cursor. I know on some of those I have cursor disabled. Yeah, this is what I'm currently working on. I'll take you guys back to the beginning of the clip. This is not a very long clip. Only about a minute and a half, minute and 20 seconds. So it doesn't, wouldn't think it would be that difficult, but I'm here to tell you that colorizing a video is very, very, very time consuming. Again, I've been working on this in September, but I did take several months where I didn't do any work on it at all. And just the last week or so, I've started putting more and more work into this. So I hope it comes out okay. If you want, you can go ahead and play. There's no sound for some reason when I go to play it, even if I do the RAM playback, but no worries. I'm just gonna go ahead and play the video. It's a little here. Let me see if I can just that'll do. You can kind of see where we're at here. Okay, I didn't realize that was going to pause it. Sorry. I need to fix the eye on that just a bit. Just outside. And honestly, I don't like this right here. But with the quality of the footage and it being, standard definition from the 60s, there's not a whole lot I can do to get better clarity to find out exactly where the lines are now. This is further than where I am, which is why you're still seeing her face color there. But that kind of gives you an idea of what I'm doing. So if I solo. So if I just make this solo, you can see what I started with here. Just plain old regular black and white video. And obviously I've had to take some liberties in figuring out what colors everything was, because, well, it was in black and white. But yeah, you can see what I had to work with here, and if I unsolo that, you see where we're at now. Pretty big change, right? So I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in on the timeline to where I was, and we're going to continue working with her inner mouth layer, because that is just kind of where I'm at. I'm going to zoom a little bit and bring it kind of back up to where it was so I can see where my keyframes are, and I can zoom in as necessary. But what we're gonna do is, okay, so I've already animated that to here. And yeah, this is where I'm at currently. So with a lot of the layers, you don't have to move around too much. Like when I was doing the colorization of the face, every 5 to 10 frames was usually pretty standard for it. But when you have something that moves as much as the mouth does, the mouth is very complex in how it moves. You tend to see, like, I have a lot of keyframes. Like, if I zoom in more, we can get actually down to frames. So see, about every 5 frames, there's a tick here. And so I've definitely got more than just every 5 frames going on. So let's go ahead and get started editing. So I'm going to go about 2 frames here. And like these lines here that are touching, because there's no actual color for me to deal with there, probably put a little bit there. You can take a lot of liberties with this. Honestly, with the inside of the mouth color, even if you really mess up, like, it's not super noticeable. I mean, it'd be noticeable like that, sure, but not super noticeable to where you have to really go back and edit it a whole lot. I'm just moving these points, and because I have keyframes set up, every time I move a point, the first time I move a point in a frame, it automatically sets a keyframe for me. So, put one there, move these. Just a smidgen there. I'm like, again, it's not going to be super noticeable. Doesn't have to be perfect, but at the end of the day, I want as much color in there as I can get without driving myself crazy. And I want it to look realistic, like it, you know, could have been in color from the beginning. That's almost impossible when you're colorizing video. Because I watched World War II in HD in color on Netflix, and you can definitely tell that the footage was originally black and white. But overall, I think they did a really good job of colorizing it, and this is something I've been trying to learn and master for the last 4 or 5 years. And I fall in and out of love with it. But at the end of the day, it's a skill that's nice to have. And if I really can do well on this, you know, it would be a viable career choice. I don't know how many businesses are needing someone to colorize black and white video. And I know a lot of people in the film industry are actually against the colorization of black and white footage because that's not how it was intended to be in the first place. But it gives you a different perspective. Something that was, you know, originally in black and white that is now color is just really cool. In fact, the reason I started doing this with Doctor Who footage is because of a guy by the name of Babel Color on YouTube. And if I bring up YouTube here, Babel Color. And he actually ended up getting a job with the BBC because of what he was able to do. They haven't released any like major, you know, color Doctor Who stuff, but I find it really interesting what you're able to do with the tools that we have out now. So the colorized Doctor Who True Colors, I'm not going to be this good probably for a long time, but I just think it's really cool. And all credit to Babel Color with this. This is definitely not me. And this is not a very long video, so I don't feel bad showing it off. But any sound to it. If there is, I'll turn off the music. See, start out in black and white, and then here's the shift color. Like I said, you can tell it's colorized, but this guy has a ton of skill. This is beyond me, by far. Oh, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine animating that. Like, this is static, so it may not be too bad, just 2 layers, and then, you know, hiding and switching layers in between, or 4 layers, I guess. Might not be too bad, but, man, I can't even imagine how long this took him to animate and colorize. It's just nuts what people are able to do. But yeah, this guy is the one that really got me into wanting to do stuff like this and colorize black and white video, because I didn't know it was possible for the longest time, besides, you know, the really, really old school silent films where they would actually draw on the film with markers. But this gives you an idea of kind of what I'm after. So yeah, back to what I was doing. We're gonna go ahead and, so right here, you see her mouth is basically closed. There's no need for this color layer. I'm gonna go back 1 to this last keyframe that we did, and I'm gonna put a keyframe for opacity. And then very next frame, since the mouth is closed, there's no need to even move anything. We can just turn the opacity down, and we can go, that's all teeth, and probably right about there is where I'd make another opacity keyframe. And then here we can crank that back up to 100. We can move our layer as needed. Not a whole lot of detail. Obviously see the pixels if you're watching in full screen. We just, really a whole lot to be done here. I mean, we can just, not going to do a whole hell of a lot in between. You can see all the different keyframes. I've moved that, and I think that's still teeth. It's really hard to tell with such low def video. See, now we're starting to mouth a little bit down. Add those up. Still just teeth right here. Just move that down a bit. Tooth is in the way. Okay. And if there's not a lot of varied movement with the mouth, I'll probably go every 3 to 5 keyframes. If there's no movement in the mouth, I'm not going to bother doing anything at all. But most of the time, there's stuff to do every couple keyframes. And that's why it's so time consuming. Figure 24 frames a second, probably. And you're doing every 5 frames. So, or five different animations per second of the film. And you're doing that for, you can see all these different layers that I have. You're doing it for all of the layers. It's just crazy. But it's kind of relaxing. You can see there wasn't really much movement there. I'm going to move that over just a little bit because it did widen. But there. And her whole head is moving down, so we can just drag that down a ton. Then you gotta deselect. Makes sense. Then you can see we're gonna start. You open the mouth just a little here. And obviously this is probably not the most fun layer to stream, but hey, the layer I'm on. Not gonna keep it off of the teeth. Because with the teeth being the lightest part of the mouth, that's, you want to avoid showing color on that, because it's going to be noticeable in the final product. Down a little bit. Okay, so here you can see we've got lips coming down. Don't have to do too much with the bottom lip, although I'm going to just put that down for my sake. Since we're going to be bringing all of those down there, start getting in. Okay. So again, we're closing the mouth. We've got all teeth there, so we'll put keyframe for opacity. And drop that to 0. That at 0 until right about here, I think. So frame before that, gonna frame 0 back up to 100. And adjust that as necessary. And you can't see too much of a difference, but if you look close, it adds a little bit of color to it and a little bit of depth. All right. On up there. Gonna come out. They're coming apart a little bit, so we can get that in there. Somehow my lines got... That's unfortunate. Now I have to deal with it. Hope that doesn't... That shouldn't cause any... Probably should have done that on the last frame, but... Oh well. No biggie. Smidge. Okay. Oh, gonna knock everything over. Oh, 2 frames. You see the teeth are starting to come back together. So, same thing that we've been doing. Keep adjusting all of the keys. Okay, so that's the last one before mouth close. So we might as well make a keyframe for opacity. Boom, mouth is closed. Down. Little OCD when it comes to things like that. It was at 99, it should have been at 100. Okay. Now we're at 0. We don't have to worry about moving anything for right now. Right there, the mouth is opening up. another opacity keyframe. Boom. Why? Why does it do that? Testing my page. Okay. So now we're back at 100 and we can little gap where she's opening her mouth. Here that looks okay, and it does. Cool, cool. Here and got teeth. I feel like a dentist with how long I have been staring into this woman's mouth. Right. Oh, looks right to me. And we're going to be whitening the teeth after we get done with the mouth. Inner mouth. But as you can see, we're just about done with the section that I'm working on. I'm doing this in parts. And I know after this, there's still more of her to animate. But you gotta chunk this to really make a difference. Okay. Even though no one's watching right now, I'm still going to jabber and bullshit and talk and ramble because that is what I do when I am working on things like this. Otherwise, I would get bored out of my mind. So, if you're shadow watching or appearing offline or whatever and not showing up on my viewer feed, well, thank you for watching, for one. For two, I'm doing this all wrong. That's... no, not. Teeth right there. Thank you for watching. Continue to stick around, support the channel, and feel free to chat with me. Actually, I might post this on... That's the wrong thing. 2 seconds here while I do something on my end. Wish my Twitch description would have updated properly when sharing. That a little frustrating. Edge. Everything else is showing, you know, good on Twitch itself, but I don't know. I share it on Facebook and it says I'm still playing Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy. And I've played like 3 different games since I last played that. I don't understand. But just about done with her inner mouth and start on teeth. Now, I'm only going to be streaming here until about 5:30 Central Time. So about another 40 minutes or so. It's not a very long stream. I do plan on streaming some games later tonight. What that's going to be, I don't know. Could be Overwatch. I know my buddy Gerardo was thinking about playing some Overwatch. If I can get tech back on. And just kind of have a chill arena shooter game. But who knows? If I get some viewers or followers from this, maybe I'll do this some. I'm pretty open. I just want to be able to stream and chat with people and pass the time in a fun way. Not looking for fame or money or anything like that. I'm not, you know, bro Jared and screwing everybody over. Just here to have a good time in this one life I get and watch Doctor Who and different sci-fi shows, whatnot. And, who knows? Who knows what'll come of this? But if anything does, I'll be surprised and happy. But at this point, I don't care. I'm just trying to have a good time. And I hope you all are having a good time as well. Frustrates me when I click outside of it to deselect it. Other times it doesn't work, but I click outside of it now and it just disappears. Okay, so here we can just make a keyframe without having to move anything. That's all still about the same. Why does it deselect then? Bothers me. Okay. We're just about done with this layer, and then we can start on the teeth. And it's pretty much going to be doing a lot of the same thing, just a lot of keyframes. Feel free to chat with me while I try not to be super bored. But I have a feeling this project is going to be pretty awesome when I'm done with it. Hopefully. Definitely better than it looked initially. Oh, there we go. That's what I started with. That's where we're at now. Not too bad if I do say so myself. Alright, inner mouth is done. We can go back to the beginning of this section. I don't know if I like that red for the two, but it was the 60s. So, hey, what do you know? All right, teeth. Start with close. So, right before we get on here, we'll start opacity. Move that to 50 just for the transition. That up to... Ooh, question. What was the opacity over here? I had the opacity at 60%. 60% is probably about where I want it. So we want this to actually be 30%. So half of where we're going to finish with. We can... stuff here. On the T. See, the problem is where we're at. I know the color, because of the low quality video, the pixels are kind of what I'm looking for, overlapping just slightly for the mouth or the lips and teeth. So again, with the teeth, since teeth don't really change shape all that much, you don't really have too much to worry about in terms of adjusting the shape, but you have to keep up with the... Stop deselecting when I don't want you to, and not deselecting when I do want you to. Again, because the mouth is going to be closing, mask opacity 0. We have lips covering it. We do have to. I honestly don't think I did a whole heck of a lot with the bottom teeth the first time around. I don't know if I'm going to try to extend it. That would require adding a bunch more of those points. But with how prominent the teeth are, I'm probably going to have to. We might just add another mask, honestly. Just... Oh, I don't want to just copy it. Let's see, if we copy the mask. Undo. Okay, I guess we're just gonna create a new mask. I forget how to do that. Just a second. Okay. And it's already got the color balance information, which is perfect. So we just need to make sure that we have an opacity and a path keyframe, and that the opacity 60%. We're gonna reset that, because right here we're gonna 0. We need to feather that by, I think it's 5 pixels. That'll help keep it looking a bit more. But now we're working with not only one mask or 2 masks for that. Okay. So top teeth in that one. Bottom teeth. Making her look like Freddie Mercury. That looks pretty okay. Again, because of the low resolution of the video, this doesn't have to be perfect. But you want it to be as perfect as it can be. So you do what you can. Every once in a while, check and make sure that looks good, and I think it does. Right. Separate those, or create a little bit of darkness between. I don't know if I just want to bring the feathering down to both of those. 3. Really hard to decide because the less feathering you have, the more noticeable the layer is. The more feathering you have, well, less noticeable, but the more it bleeds into. I think 3 is probably going to be the best for this. Doesn't look too bad. See, the bottom row of teeth here is pretty much entirely good. That up, just tiny little bit there. This needs to come up slightly. I'm kind of matching it up with that notch in the tooth there. See, looks pretty okay. I'm not going for perfection by any means because I am just one man. And I've been working on this project for a really long time, and I'm actually feeling a little bit motivated to get it done. And so at this point, you can see this is the last shot, last before she closes her mouth, that we see those. Any little bit of those 2 teeth. So we're going to go ahead and mask opacity, keyframe on with the top mask, top teeth. Go ahead and adjust that as necessary because the lips are covering that. Okay. Don't want to fully deselect you, please. Thank you. Okay. Lips are covering part of that. Kind of adjust from. Okay, so this is the last frame that we see that in before she closes her mouth. Mask opacity. Gone. Gonna keep opacity in there. Boom. Bring them back up to 60. And top of the teeth. Just move as necessary where the lips aren't. I still am having a hard time deciding between 5, but I think I'm going to go with 5. I think 5 is where I want to go. So, see, there's motion here, which is not doing a whole lot before the lips cover the teeth, so we can easily just bat down and down and over, and this probably slightly as well. See, hey, pretty good, and that's just, again, moving. There's not a whole lot of changing, although top lip does. Well, stop. Why is it doing that, Keith? No. What just happened? Okay, we're duplicating, but we're not deselecting. Sometimes this program is very finicky. And we're continuing to move down. Ooh, the song that's playing kind of reminds me of by Ghost. I am a big Ghost fan. And if you can't tell by my screen name, I'm also a pretty big David Bowie fan. So, and the teeth are starting to together a little bit. Now this part, this song, reminds me a lot of the Age of Empires 2 soundtrack, which I freaking love that song. I love Age of Empires. Love Age of Empires 2. Didn't play a whole lot of Age of Empires 3. But I am pumped for Age of Empires 4. They haven't said a whole heck of a lot about it. But no, hold on. I have a strange question. You should ask me in stream. Okay. Actually, on that last keyframe, yeah, it was good on. Just select all of it. So at that point, then, I would consider the bottom teeth just... So... Top teeth really haven't moved too much. Bottom lip that's moved. Heck of a lot of movement. See, let's slowly move it over. Because if it stays static, that also can become very noticeable. Am I coming through? For a second there, it didn't look like my mic was picking up anything. This right here is the easy part because I just have to move it around a tiny little bit. It does all the animation for me. But as you can see, we are about to bring in the bottom teeth again. Maybe. Yep. So right here is going to be the last of the 0% opacity for the bottom teeth. Not a whole lot of the teeth are showing yet. Just kind of crunch that up. Probably could have just moved the whole thing up, but I don't know. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Up. Mouth is closing again, so opacity. No, in fact, I'm going to move that here and do 0. Left. That up slightly since kind of starting to cover that. Again, we're bringing this back, so 0%, boom, 60%. Good. Headset a little bit. Still getting used to not having hair again. For the longest time, I had hair. Okay, so bottom lip is moving. Top lip, or top teeth shouldn't have to move too much, but move this and just start. Oh, hurts. And because these are feathered and they're reaching out beyond their mask lasso, I almost want to put the above. That's not how layers work in real life, but should have really. Okay, back to the teeth. Okay. Okay, so we can. The lips are starting to move in. You can tell that we definitely blasted the teeth for just a little bit. So we'll go ahead and opacity keyframe. Boom. On. There's a little bit of teeth left, but honestly, with the shadow of the lips, make the argument gray. And here, again, we're doing that. Okay. Program is great when it works. When it doesn't, it's very frustrating. I don't think I've had this many issues with it deselecting randomly very long. So opacity needs to go back up to 60. That again helps us define where the lips are, because if you see red, not where it should be. It'll conflict with the other layers that I have. Okay. Pretty good. And I've got just about 10 minutes left before I sign off for now. Like I said, I will be probably playing some games tonight, or I might continue doing more of this, just depending on how I'm feeling and whatnot. But yeah, feel free to stop by and chat. I always enjoy chatting about Doctor Who and about Doctor Who, David Bowie, Ball Z, whatnot. I'm an introvert trying to be extroverted. Okay. Okay, that's pretty noticeable that that isn't lightened, so fix that real quick. That way it doesn't look so out of place when that tooth comes to the... Again, I have to make a brand new keyframe to bring that tooth into focus. Less weird. Almost need to add more color to the lips there, but I'm not striving for perfection by any means. I just want it to look good and not kill my sanity. Sometimes you have to go back and usually it's not too bad. About to just not see the bottom teeth again. Probably call that good. Thought I was clicking on a point, but apparently I was not. Always remember to save often. Don't worry about it, Danica. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call it here for right now. Thank you all for watching. You all have a good night. I will be back on in a few hours playing something, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, see y'all.